Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Westen. How are you guys doing today? Now, here in Kansas, we've had some wild weather. It's been windy, we've had some raining, flooding, tornadoes. It's been quite of a bad deal. Some people's lost their houses and a lot of people's been affected really badly. But we're lucky we live up on top of a hill, and if it flooded all the way to here, we would need Noah's Ark, so we're good. And the only thing we got to worry about out here is tornadoes, and we haven't been blown away yet, so we're all right. Or whenever my neighbor gets to talking too much, he's kind of windy, he might blow us away sometimes too. None of that's really affected us too much, but there is one thing that has affected us, and that is my old red truck has failed us. Now, for those of you that know, this is Clifford, my 2012 Ram 3500 one-ton service truck. For those of you that don't, I've got a couple other videos on them. You can go back and watch them. But like I said, this is my 2012 Ram 3500 one-ton Cummins diesel with a service body on the back that I carry all my tools in. And she's just been grumpy. She thinks first gear and second gear is kind of overrated. And she really just likes third gear a lot. And think fourth, fifth, and sixth is just unneeded. Basically, just to cut to the chase, she's got a transmission issue. And I know everybody down in the comment section's like, what a surprise, a Dodge diesel with a tranny issue. So before we get too far, I just want to give you a brief update on some of our other builds we're doing. Now, the Fummins is coming, trust me. The parts are on their way, and as soon as they get here, we're going to start building on that. So if you guys are excited to see that, or if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I'd hate for you to miss out on any of the cool content we got coming up. I guess there ain't nothing to it, just to do it. Let's dive in, see if we can see what's wrong with this old red truck. Let me tell you what we're having issues with on the old red truck here. She's got a transmission issue. So basically, I pulled it up one day, shut it off, and I went back out to get into it, fired it up, put it in reverse to back out of the drive, and it slammed into reverse really hard. I mean, like, it felt like I got slammed through the windshield almost. So basically, I went to drive it, put it back in drive, and it was stuck in third gear. I shut the truck off, turned it back on, and it was fine. So it went into limp mode. There's something electrically wrong with the transmission. I don't think there's actually any hard parts like clutch packs or anything like that actually broken. Knock on thin sheet metal. We're going to take and we're going to put the scan tool on it, see if we can pull any codes for the transmission, and see if we can figure out what is wrong with old Clifford today. All right, now let's see if we can show you the issue that old Clifford is having here. Now, we'll just take you might not be able to hear that, maybe you can, but that is engaging really hard. This thing is still in limp mode. And the other thing you can tell is when you pull it into drive, it slams into gear, but it has to wrap up really hard for it to start moving, which means it's in third gear, it's not in first. The other thing is, when it goes into drive, I can't hit my little tap shifter down here and select the gear no more. It's absolutely stuck in whatever gear it's in, which I think is third, maybe fourth. So we obviously know that, I believe this thing's in limp mode. We'll have to pull the scan tool out and check for sure, but I think that's exactly what it's in right now. Now, we've tried unhooking the batteries and resetting the computer for the transmission, but that's not worked. So I'm gonna say it's actually got an issue. Some of these, sometimes maybe just a loose connection can cause a transmission to act funky, and if you unhook the batteries and hook them back up after about 15 minutes, it'll reset the computer and it's fine. Now, the other thing we want to check, now this is just the first easy thing to check, is our gear indicator. So we got our key on, it's in drive, and it's showing that it is in drive. Neutral, reverse, park. It's just like it's supposed to. Now, if this range switch, which is, this is a little switch on the side of the transmission that tells the gear shift what gear it's in. If this switch was bad, it would see how it turned all the different colors. I just got it held in between one gear and the next gear, so that's why it's done that. But if you get in your truck and it's having the same issue this one's having and it's doing that, 90% of the time it's going to be that range switch on the side of the transmission that tells it what gear it's in. But that's not the issue with ours. Ours is working just fine. So we're going to take and put the scan tool on it, see if we got any codes, and see if that can lead us in any direction there. All right, guys, now we got the codes pulled up for the transmission control module. So basically, the first one we see is impossible wheel speed sensor, signals received. Shift solenoid 2 functional performance, that could be. The transmission fluid temperature sensor, that's been broke for a long time. That ain't no big deal. Line pressure solenoid circuit. So this line pressure solenoid and the shift solenoid right there, either one of them could cause this transmission to go into limp mode. But where we got codes for both, I would about say we've got a wiring issue outside the transmission, because I don't think it's that common for both of them solenoids to fail at the exactly same time. So it's getting dark out here. We're going to take and pull this truck in the garage, put it up on jacks. That way I can roll myself underneath there and look at all of our wiring and see. That's the first thing we're going to check, is the easy things. We've already checked the fuses. We've tried resetting the computer for the transmission. That's not done nothing. It's still pulling these codes. I've tried deleting these codes. Still, it has an issue. So we need to get in there, check all the wiring going to the transmission, make sure it's all in good shape. And if we don't find any problems there, then I guess we'll have to pull the pan and see if maybe one of them solenoids is froze up or what it may be inside the valve body. So, guess there ain't nothing to it just to do it. Let's get it pulled inside. Where it's got as many codes as it does, it had 3 major codes for the tranny. It's probably a good chance that the wiring going into the trans is actually what is broke. Maybe we've had a lot of water around here. We drove through a lot of standing water with this truck, and maybe some water splashed up and knocked some wires loose or something. So that's what we're going to try to look at to begin with. And hopefully it's just something on the outside of the trans, and if that's the case, then we don't got to pull the pan and get all dirty and covered in transmission fluid by the end of the day. So I got my creeper out here. We got it up on her little ramps. So we're going to roll underneath there and see if we can figure out what's wrong with it. I need to get my light back on too. So now we're going to get down here on the driver's side, because all the wiring that goes into the transmission is on the driver's side of the case of the tranny. So let's get down there and see if we got any wires ripped out. So we're just going to take a look. These are this switch right here. There's a plug-in right back there on the back. That's our range switch. Now that is working because it shows what gear this truck's in. Back here is a plug-in for the shift solenoids and all that for this plug-in here. Then there's another plug-in back up there on top as well, and that's for, I think, line pressure and stuff like that. Now I do know, where's it at? Yeah. So basically I'm going to take and start tracking all of our wires. We do have a couple places right here that's the wires have been fixed going to the plug. So we got the wiring harness. Now this was just wrapped up in electrical tape. Somebody had been in here and repaired this previous, or tried to, or whatever it may have been. And we found this wire right here broke, which this is the ground for one of the solenoids. That wire there was broke. There's the other end of it. And this wire here, I pulled the electrical tape off there because somebody had spliced this wire together, just making sure it's got a good connection. Now it looks decent. It's a crimp connection, but it doesn't look bad at all. I think it's probably fine. We'll tape that one back up, but we're going to take and splice this wire back together, see if that fixes our issue. I don't know if it's going to or not, but it might fix one of our issues. Hopefully it does. I'd be a lot happier if it does, because I don't like crawling underneath here. So we took and found a wire that was broke underneath the truck for the line pressure solenoid, and that was one of the 2 codes that we had on the transmission controller. The other one we've got is one for the shift solenoid, shift performance functionality or something like that. I've traced all the wires for that solenoid. Everything's in good shape. It says there's nothing wrong with the circuit, but the computer just says that it's not working right. So maybe the solenoid went bad inside. Now this here is a sure sign a Dodge Diesel is nearby. I know what you guys are thinking. No, I'm not that fast at pulling trannies. If I needed to pull one, I could lay out dang near every tool I need before I ever got underneath the truck. It's that bad. But this one did not come out of old Clifford over there. Hers is still completely intact. I actually have this one in the garage. This one's got a planetary issue or something. One of the clutches are burned up. But it's been sitting around here since I pulled it out of a truck a few years ago. And it's the same transmission that's in the old red Clifford truck. It's an Ison Seki. It's a Japanese transmission. They're pretty good. They put them in the cabin chassis, and later on they put them in the pickups. I might have forgot to mention that at some point. But we're going to pull a shift solenoid out of this trans because the valve body and everything was in good shape. So let's grab that solenoid out of it, and we'll put it in red and see if we can make her work. The next part might need to be censored because I don't know if you want to see a tranny from the bottom. I am smart. I don't know what I'm talking about. thing's still got tranny foot in it. Well, you know, this is actually quite common, a Dodge transmission marking its territory. Who knew? It actually still had fluid left in it. Who would imagine with a Dodge transmission had fluid left? Is that chain still hooked on? It is. I sure hope it is. Is it coming out? No. That's what I was kind of thinking to myself because it stopped. Because you just tipped it right up. We're gonna make a mess. Yeah, there's some coming out. It's leaking! There's still a little bit of tranny foot left in it, but we'll get it. All right, this is the last bolt on the pan. Let's see if we got anything comes out. Now, I think we dumped all of our tranny foot up there on the table. It's really nice having this extra tranny here. Any parts we need, we just take it right off this one. All right. Ooh, I need a screwdriver. Give me a second. There she goes! I gotta pee now. Get that? Hey, it's not bad looking in here. Ooh. Well, that's the pan. Still got some good looking tranny foot in it. Ugh, that tranny had better days. Well, this is what she looks like under here. So basically, this is the valve body for the transmission. And what we need is this little shift, this little shift solenoid over here. I was pointed the wrong one. So we need to grab that, and then we need to pull the pan off on red and put that shift solenoid in there, and hopefully that fixes it. Cross our fingers and hope for luck. I do miss old Red. We need to get her back running. I haven't been able to chase no girls with her down. I didn't say the old girls I was chasing was them old heifers out in the field, but that's what we got the ranch hand for, so we can just push them old heifers out of the way and get right to the gate. Or Honda Civics. Take your pick. All right, guys, so let me show you what exactly we're pulling this tranny apart for. Now, if you can see these round things that these plugins are plugged into all the way down through there, them are solenoids and pressure switches and stuff like that. And this one right here, which is like 250 bucks if you want to go buy it, you actually can't buy it from Dodge. You got to buy this whole thing from Dodge, and the pump and everything, it's like $3,500. So this is where having some parts laying around saves you some money. So we can pull this little solenoid off right here. This transmission shifted fine. It was just slipping. So this solenoid should be fine. We'll put this solenoid in. Old Clifford over there, we'll have to pull the pan off that one as well. This is the one we're getting right here, that one. You know the advantage to being my own boss in the garage? I can sit down on the job. It don't get to happen very often. And then I'll be laying around for a little bit. Might be underneath a creeper. With a little bit of gentle persuasion. There it goes. I hate transmissions. I hate them. Pull that up, grab that, and just slide it out of there. There we go. Exactly. And that is the little part we need. Take in mind, if I had to go buy this, like 300 bucks. Now we're going to take and clean this thing up, wipe it off, and we're going to start the fluid draining on the red truck's transmission. And then we'll put this in there, and hopefully that'll fix it. Fingers crossed. As long as I don't drop this drain plug in this bucket, which I'm probably going to. Well, that worked pretty good. Don't even got tranny foot down my arm. And I got a visitor. What do you think you're doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Gosh damn it, I don't need this much help working on this pickup. I got all kinds of visitors. Well, you know what, guys? When it comes around to the most exciting thing that happens all night, and the camera goes dead. So I gotta apologize. Now maybe you can see the aftermath of what happened, but I took a transmission fluid shower. The hair is full of tranny fluid, transmission fluid. So if I wake up tomorrow and my hair is orange, that's probably why. But we got the pan off of old Clifford. I need to find my solenoid. Where'd I put my solenoid? There it is. Ta-da. So let's get back underneath there and put the solenoid back on. You know what? Maybe you can't be. All right. So, guys, we got the pan pulled off. It said right there. And this is her. Now, she's looking pretty clean, obviously. Most transmissions, when you open them up, look pretty clean. And this is the part we got to put in there. That is a shift solenoid. Pretty simple. Not much to it. We do have to take this filter off, which it really looks pretty good. Not very dirty. I did get a new filter and pan gasket from O'Reilly's, but obviously in O'Reilly's fashion, they gave me the wrong one. I think they gave me one to an Allison transmission. It didn't look right when I was standing there, but anyway, I wouldn't go argue with them until we pulled it off and seen for sure. So we might just have to reuse this filter and reuse this gasket. It should be fine. This filter and fluid don't have many miles on it. It's still red, not burnt or nothing. I mean, you can see it's the right color it's supposed to be. So let's sit her. Let's expertly catalog that right there so I can forget about it here in about 15 minutes. There's one bolt right there that holds it in. There's this plug-in, which has just got this little thing on the side, and push down, unplug it. Hopefully, when we change out this solenoid, that will fix our issue.
Well, it looks like you're going to tell a spooky story.
Ooh! Tonight I'm going to tell the story of a transmission in a Dodge that didn't work. Yeah, that one's kind of been copied a few times. All right, we filled it back up with fluid. Hopefully it works. So guys, it is the next day. And let me tell you, this truck is taking a little bit longer to fix than I care to admit. We fixed something, and I'm like, oh, that fixed it. And I go in, I grab the camera, and I fire it up, and that didn't fix it. And then we fixed something else, and I grab the camera, go to fire it up, and that didn't fix it. So we've recorded this. We've recorded the fixing part and the ready to go part a couple times, and my God, I sure hope, and I mean, I sure hope that this is the time that it is finally fixed. Let me just show you the wiring issues that we were having and what we were doing to this truck. Give me a second. So basically, we pulled the wheel well liner out of it, and this is the main harness that goes down to the transmission, and I had to pull the loom all the way off of this and pull it down just to bare wires. I found about 3 wires inside of there that were broke. Fixed all of them. There was a couple of wires on the side of the transmission that were broke as well. Fixed them. I sure hope it's fixed now. So we haven't tried it. You guys are going to come along with us for the first time to see if it's fixed. So let me get in here and we'll see. So if it doesn't work now, we're just gonna cut the floorboards out and Fred Flintstone it. Maybe not. My brother might get a little bit mad about that. Air conditioning might not work real good that way. Let's see if it'll work. Key. Now, I never had a problem starting, but always had a problem of when you take and go to put it into gear, it would slam into gear real hard. Let's see. Oh God. I think it's fixed. That was drive. Please reverse, please work. Oh my God, yes, it works. I am so happy, guys. It's starting off in first gear like it's supposed to, not slamming into gear. Oop, horn honks. Well, she is fixed. We're shutting the hood on another project. Well, she's a little bit too tall. I gotta get around here. Now, she shouldn't be a project. She should just work. Don't tell her we're gonna go hook the trailer on. She might be getting a little bit lazy if we tell her that. So, next episode, Red is lazy and doesn't want to go to work. Anyway, if you guys liked the video, hit that like button. Comment down below what you think. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. The links will be down in the description. And make sure you stay tuned for the Fummins. It's coming. We'll see you guys next time.